This one is for all of you composers, improvisers, and songwriters out there. So you've been asking for a lesson on how to write a melody. So I put together some of my favorite tips for writing melody. And keep in mind, this is just one set of ideas, and when it comes to music, there are exceptions to absolutely every rule. So take what we've got here, play around with it, and see what you can come up with. So here we go. I'm going to be sharing my ideas based on just a random chord progression. So let's play around in the key of D. And this will should work for most, if not any chord progression in any key. So we've got, let's do D as our 1, we'll play with the 6, and then we'll play with the 5, and then we'll play with the 4. So that's the progression, 1, 6, 5, and 4. So D is our 1, B minor is our 6, A is our 5, and G is our 4. So when it comes to writing a melody, you want to be considering all of the notes that you have sort of as an option in your color palette that are going to sound good in the key that you're in the progression that you're playing. So one of the first things that I do before I write a melody is I actually play all the notes of the scale of the key I'm in over top of each one of the chords in the progression. And I just take a moment to really listen to how they sound. And how each note is kind of different and contrasts with the chord I'm playing it over top of. So to begin, I'll just play a D major scale over D, and then my next chord is B minor, so I'll do that again. And right away you notice there's a contrast on how that sounds, and it's really beautiful. So just take a mental note, how each note sounds against the chord. Get on A, and then with the G. So what that does is it just kind of gets you in the zone for what you're working with. And you may have already had some ideas where you're like, oh, I loved how that sounds. So hang on to those for later. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to kind of walk through the role that each of these tones plays when it comes to melody and the mood they create. So the first note in our scale in the key that we're in is D, and this note would be considered what's called the tonic. You can think of the tonic as home base. So when you hear D, it feels like we're settled, we're at home. So D is a great place to begin and to end your song because it's home base. It's where all the other notes kind of take you to. So that's the role of the D. So if you just play D over top of your chord progression, you've already kind of got something really pretty. So the next tones I want to explore with you are the 3rd tone and the 5th tone. These guys really stand out, and especially in contrast to that tonic. So here's what I mean. This 3rd sounds like we're kind of lifting off, like it feels kind of hopeful to me against all of these chords. And when you play it in relation to that root note or the tonic, it starts to create some energy and it maintains that lift. Now, when you add in the 5th and you play it in relation to the 3rd, it lifts the ear even further. It contrasts beautifully with each of our chords. Now look what happens when we play it in relation to the tonic. All of a sudden things feel lifted and open. I just feel like this 5th is a very hopeful and very open sound. So you can mix and match those. And notice how I ended on my tonic to sort of finish things off. So there are 2 more tones within this scale that I feel can create a really cool impact and sort of difference. And those are the 6th and the 7th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The B is the 6th. And when you play it like that, it sounds kind of crunchy, like, oh, what is she doing? But look how it fits when you mix it up with the 3rd and the 5th and the tonic. Watch this. Kind of creates this like tension, like where are things going? So I would use this tone sparingly, but it creates a little bit of mystery. And the 7th does the same thing. And the reason for this is that they're actually pulling your ear. They're pulling it back to that tonic. That's where your ear wants to go. So watch what happens with the 7th tone, which is in this key, C sharp. Notice how you're like, oh, we gotta go here. That's the pull to the tonic. And it's beautiful. So now we've talked a little bit about the roles of the root or tonic, the third, the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh. You know, we haven't forgotten about the second and the fourth. They're going to kind of work as passing notes. But what I want you to do at this point is to pick a combination of tones that sound great to you and let that start out as your theme for your melody. So you're going to play around, you're going to improvise, you're going to kind of get in the zone, and you're going to pick your tones. So there's my little passing guide that's going to take me to my tonic. So my root, third, second, root, or tonic. I should probably refer to them by the same name. I'm going to keep calling this guy tonic. And if you like how that sounds, you're going to just repeat it. And this is how you write melody. And when it gets boring, you're going to pull out another one of those tones that we looked at. So we're going to go, I like that. You're just going to play with a variety of rhythms, picking the notes that kind of evoke the mood or atmosphere you like, create a theme, repeat it, and then start to venture out and vary it as you go through your song. So this is just a starting point for creating a melody. But I hope that it's given you some inspiration, some great ideas that you can use in your own composition. So comment below, let me know what you think, and have fun writing.